It's workout from home number 17 here at the Four Bells Fitness Emporium, and it is leg day. More specifically, squatting day, and even more specifically, front-loaded squatting day. So we're going to look at some kind of front squat depending on what you have available to you. Before we get into our strength piece and we talk about front squats, let's talk about our warm-up today. So with our warm-up, we have 3 movements, and you should be able to do them anywhere with very limited space and even more limited resources. We start off in our warm-up today with a squat hangout. We're going to be there for 30 seconds. So if you're in the Zoom classes with us, we're going to do a few different drills, looking at ankle dorsiflexion, looking at hip external rotation and internal rotation, and that's what we'll be doing in our little squat hangout. Basically hanging out in a squat, doing some different drills. From there, we're going to do a lunge to hammy stretch, 20 seconds per side. We're going to go over how to do that in just a second. And last but not least, an easy goblet squat for 10 reps. So that, of course, could be with the obvious fitness tools, things such as a dumbbell or a kettlebell in a goblet position in front of the chest. But if you don't have those available, then find something. You have something. It could be a very coveted bag of flour. It could be a cat. Always use a cat. My advice to you, they're wriggly and therefore cause more stability training. But cats aside, squat hangout, lunge to hammy stretch, easy goblet squat, we're doing that 3 times. So with the squat hangout, I'm not going to go through all of them because we'll be here all day, but I'm just going to kind of fly through a few of them. With our squat hangout, step number 1 is hanging out in a squat. I'm going to hang out, and I would say probably for my first few drills, I always like to look at the ankles. So in my opinion, the front squat is a ankles up mobility issue, which means that the ankles move well, means we can close the knee joint fully, means we can express hip flexibility, not only hip flexion but also external rotation, and in turn keep a good torso position. So I like to start with some ankle circles. So drawing circles with the ankles, really trying to focus on ankle dorsiflexion, getting that shin forwards. From there, I would focus on prying the hips open, in a little prayer position. From there, I would work on looking at external rotation through the hip. And then if you're feeling good from there, I would look at internal and external rotation in my squat position. So that's what I would do, hang out for 30 seconds, and just play around and see what feels tight and address it. From there, our lunge to hammy stretch is quite straightforward. I'm not going to stand all the way up so my cameraman doesn't have to jump everywhere. I'm going to step back into a lunge. From this position, all I'm going to do is sit my bum back to my heel as I grab my front toes. I sit back, come back here. First of all, before I even look at the hamstring stretch, is how does this position feel? How does plantar flexion, sorry cameraman, I'm counting up as well. How does plantar flexion feel? Does this make me feel like my ankle's going to explode? If it does, don't do it. It's pretty obvious, guys. Be nice to your ankles, see how the hips feel. From here, if I can, I'm just going to hang out for 20 seconds, ideally keeping the chest up. If you can't grab the toes, maybe we're grabbing the shin, but I'm just trying to stretch out the hamstring. From there, I would come up, switcheroo, grab the toes, lean back, oof, and we do the other side. So again, trying to get into a nice hamstring stretch, making sure we don't explode the ankle on this side. Last but not least, a goblet squat is what we're looking for. So, with the goblet squat, pretty straightforward. My cameraman's laughing, but things get crazy, things got crazy. So, with that in mind, when we are looking at our goblet squat, the idea is I hold it as if I were drinking a goblet. That is the idea. Whether I'm using a dumbbell or a kettlebell, it should be close to the chest, or a cat, or a bag of sugar. We keep the torso nice and upright as we get into our, was it 5? 10? 10 easy goblet squats. We're going to do a squat hangout for 30 seconds, hamstring stretch for 20 seconds per side. Easy goblet squat, 3 rounds, that's the warm-up. Strength piece for workout number 17. We have a slightly different format in terms of how we normally set up sets and rep schemes today. The overarching theme is the same. We have 5 sets. Each set is going to be 3 minutes long, but we're splitting it into 2 90-second windows of time. So in each 90 seconds, we have some work to do. In my first 90 seconds, I'm going to do some kind of front-loaded squat. We're going to talk about options for that in just a second. And the idea is I'm just going to squat for 45 seconds. Up and down for 45 seconds. I'm then going to take 45 seconds off as I walk over to a stair or a step or a box, and then I'm going to do calf raises for 45 seconds. I'll then get to rest another 45 seconds before I come back to round number 2 and do squats again. So while we're trying this different format, I would say that this format works very well in terms of trying to build muscular endurance and build time under tension, regardless of what we have available to us. So if you're at home and you have a sweet squat stand, you have a barbell, you could do front rack squats with a barbell. We like to call them Arnold style, when we cross the arms over, a cross arm style front squat. You could even do a goblet squat with 1 kettlebell, maybe 2, single dumbbell, 2 dumbbells. Essentially what I'm trying to do when I'm doing my squats is find a way to make what I have as challenging as possible. So if you have a barbell where you can incrementally load weights, that's really cool. Happy days. You can easily put more weight on and you can kind of just move through that 45 seconds. If you don't have heavy weights available or don't have increasingly heavy weights available, then how do we make this 45 seconds as challenging as it can be? So of course, weight is a big factor. What is the load that I am moving? And it could be, maybe I'm at home with a relatively light kettlebell. So that could be that while I'm moving for 45 seconds, if this weight is pretty heavy for me, maybe I'm just trying to move consistently throughout the 45 seconds. If the weight is very light, by adding more time under tension, I can make that weight be perceived to be a lot heavier. So that could be really slowing down the eccentric, pausing for a second at the bottom, and coming up. So what we're trying to do is make the resources we have available as challenging for us as possible. So I would say the lighter the weights you have, the more you should be slowing down the eccentric and that pausing at the bottom. From there, from our 45 seconds of some kind of front squat, we're then going to get into calf raises. So calf raises, they're probably one of the most forgotten areas that people train. People don't really like to train calves very much. They're kind of lost in a weird world where people think, oh, that's what bodybuilders do. But to train the legs, the calves are essential for making sure we have a nice strong knee joint. So I like to train calves a lot, but also they're really good to help build good ankle dorsiflexion or get better range of motion for squatting. So hopefully this is a good combination where we get to not only increase some stress on the calves, train the calves, but also hopefully increase range of motion for the ankle for every preceding set of squats we do today. When it comes to a calf raise, you don't need a fancy box. You need maybe just a step at home or a yoga block or something like that. You don't need anything fancy. And the most thing to remember is that I just need something to hold on to lightly. This is not an upper body exercise where I'm pulling with the arms. I set the feet up on the edge of my stair, should be roughly around the ball of my feet. I'm going to just stretch the calf as much as possible and then come up onto the toes for a peak contraction. Heels down, up onto the toes, and we're going to go for 45 seconds, trying to make it again, making sure I get a nice stretch at the bottom, nice contraction at the top. Of course, if you can find a way to hold onto a dumbbell, maybe alternate hands every time you do it. If you have a weighted vest, stick that on. If you have a partner who wants to sit on your shoulders, whatever way, find a way to make your calf raises more challenging. 45 seconds of front squats, 45 seconds of calf raises. We're doing that 5 times. Conditioning piece. It is a very short, sweet barnstormer of a workout today. The idea is to move very fast through the conditioning piece. So that means I've got some 100-meter runs, some ab pieces to do, and every single ab piece is interspliced with another 100-meter run. We're of course going to talk about different options as we go. The idea is to keep the pace as high as possible, but make sure with our running and with our abdominal exercises is that the movements look as beautiful as they can. As I always like to say, fast and shit is still shit, so make sure they look good when you are doing your conditioning piece today. When we are doing our 12-minute piece, it's going to run straight forward. I'm going to do a 100-meter run. If running is not available for you, it could be 20 high knees or 20 jumping jacks. From there, it will be flutter kicks for a 20 count. Now that count is going to depend on how fast you can move your feet and how slow or fast you like to count. Then another 100-meter run, some tuck V-ups for 15 reps, another 100-meter run, and if you have a little bit of weight available, some kind of weighted sit-up for 10 reps. So let's talk about all of these very quickly. When it comes to our 100-meter run, ideally we want to find a place outside of our apartment building, in the park if you're allowed to go there, or on your street, where I can run out for 50 meters, turn around and quickly run back. So if you're at the gym, you know we like to leave from the front door, go run to the far curb and come back. It doesn't take much more than 20 seconds-ish to run that distance. So bear that in mind. If you've got time, take a little walk down the street, do a little trial jog, see how you feel. If you can't go for a run, then of course the options are always high knees, could be jumping jacks, whatever you want to do to create an aerobic response and try and move as fast as you can, but of course make sure those movements are beautiful. From here, if we're coming to lay down on our mat, where we're going to go over our flutter kicks and our tuck V-ups and our weighted sit-ups. With the flutter kick, all I like to do is think very similar to a sit-up for a leg raise. I'm going to take the hands, put them underneath the bum, and I'm going to have one leg about 45 degrees, one leg just off the floor, and all I'm going to do is count down in a Mississippi fashion. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. You get the idea down to 1. From there, with the tuck V up, what I want to think is in the middle of each rep is almost like boat pose from yoga, which means I'm going to balance on the bum, shins are parallel to the ceiling, and I've got a nice proud chest not rounded forwards. The feet come apart, heels touch the floor, hands touch the floor, I come back in, draw those knees in to the chest with each rep, and we do 15 tuck V-ups. From there, if we are doing, I love my reclining, it almost makes me feel like I'm doing my spring-summer catalogue when I do this pose. When it comes to weighted sit-ups, first thing first is, am I good at regular sit-ups? If I'm not, forget the weight, regular sit-ups is perfectly fine. But if you do have some weight available, I've got a nice little convenient slam ball here. This is only 10 pounds, of course you can go heavier. And of course, be resourceful. What do you have at home? I'm going to reach up to the ceiling, so I'm not using the weight to throw me forwards. I'm punching up to the ceiling with that weight, reaching up as I sit up. So, 12 minutes, 100-meter run, or 20 high knees or jumping jacks. Flutter kicks for a 20 count, 100-meter run, 15 tuck V-ups, 100-meter run, 10 weighted sit-ups. We're going through that as many times as we can in 12 delightful minutes.